and the 1-2. Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. Up for grabs. There's his walk-off home run, and the Yankees have come back to win it. 6-5. Oh man, what a blast by Judge.
Now Barkley up the middle, cuts to the outside. Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, stayed in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards.
Turner drives one to center, chasing Nimmo back to the warning track, right at the fence. He made the catch! Oh, whoa! The catch of the year from Brandon Nimmo! He took a home run away from Justin Turner!
On the move. A lot of time. Directing traffic. Gonna go deep. Has a man deep. It is caught for the touchdown. Corey Davis.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Happy Thursday, sports fans. Welcome to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. We got a lot to get to. Going to get to all four major sports today. Before we do, your host for today, Joshua Mahi, filling in for Dominic Arbolino, joined by Nico Weech, Eric Williams, and Brayton Daniello. What's going on, everybody?
Lettuce.
Lettuce.
What about lettuce?
Yeah,
you know about lettuce.
You know lettuce.
I don't think we do.
Lettuce cook. Lettuce cook. Lettuce cook.
Interesting way to put it.
How everybody else doing? We know how Nico's doing.
I'm indifferent, Josh.
You're indifferent.
Oh, Mr. Ross.
No.
Yes.
Even after that great Jets win, they're 6-3. They beat Buffalo. You're still indifferent.
The Jets are doing great. The Mets had some moves that we'll get to, and the New York Rangers, for the second time this season, have forgotten how to play hockey for 2 games. So it's unfortunate, but you know what? I want to talk about the Jets to start.
Absolutely, we will start with the New York Jets. Before we do, 516-572-7440. That's the number to join the show. We talked about it quite a bit yesterday with some people that were crazy enough to call the game. Not just call the game, the win for the Jets, predict them to go 11-6. Not just to predict them to go 11-6, predict them to go to the AFC title game. I got to give he who shall not be named credit. He's one leg up. He's 1 out of 3. We'll see how the rest of the season goes for the New York Jets, but let's recap the game, and this is how it ended.
Here we go. Crowd going wild. 33 seconds to go in the game. The Jets lead by 3, 4th and 21. As Allen drops back to throw at his own 5-yard line, scrambling to his left, buying time, looking downfield, heaves a bomb for Davis. Sauce Gardner's there. It's knocked away. Sauce Gardner in position on Gabe Davis, knocks it away, and the Jets are going to take a knee and win it here at MetLife Stadium.
Great call Sunday afternoon on ESPN New York Radio to call the Jets game. Sauce Gardner, he is, I'm not going to say he's Deion Sanders-like, but unlike some people, but he's definitely making his case to be top 5, top 3 corner in the NFL so far. Brayton, we didn't hear from you yesterday. This was a big-time win against everyone's Super Bowl favorite. They come into your building. It's looking kind of shaky. Got to give Zach Wilson credit. He made the throws, and the defense closed it out. So, the resident Jets fan for today, how are you feeling about that win?
Well, I think every Jets fan is extremely happy, and a lot of them, including myself, surprised because a lot of people didn't expect them to win this game. Especially coming off that loss to New England. And once you lose that game to New England, obviously the morale is down the drain because you had won, 4 straight to that point. You were hoping to beat New England. Then, the reason it was so disappointing, I think everyone expected a loss to Buffalo, which is why it feels that extra good. But it also, listen, I talked about signature wins earlier this season, and obviously, I talked about the signature win really being against Green Bay, and I know how Nico feels about that, obviously, now looking, I know how you feel in general. Mm-hmm. But, and to be fair with that, you could make the argument Green Bay isn't a good team anymore, yada, yada, yada. But, with this win, there really isn't any excuses. They limited. Well, I know Josh Allen killed them on the ground, but he's done that throughout the season. Just basically every opponent. I know he's thrown 19 touchdown passes, but you kept them off the board through the air. So, what I really like about it, aside from the fact that it's a signature win, I like the coaching in this game because they didn't try and get too cute with it. You know, they limited Zach Wilson. He did what he had to when he needed to. Garrett Wilson, obviously a big part of that. But you got just enough offense, you chipped away, you burned enough clock, and dare I say, actually I will say it, this might be one of the best, if not the best defenses in the NFL right now. And they put it in their hands and they delivered. And I got to give props to one guy, and that's Stephon Diggs, because on the first off, the way the game started was abysmal, and I got like bad vibes right away. Man falls down on the kickoff. I'm like, oh crap, I know where this is going. And then Stephon Diggs on the very first play beats Sauce Gardner for, I believe, like a 25-yard gain, and he turns around and he said something to him, and whatever he said must have really ticked off Sauce, because after that he went into freaking to another level, and obviously gets the interception later. Funny thing is, also, Whitehead gets an interception after that first drive starts, which I thought immediately Bills were going to score a touchdown within the first minute.
Yeah.
But, listen, the defense did their job, and that's been the vocal point of this team, and it reminds me a lot of the AFC Championship squads, except they're all younger. It's not veterans, it's all youth. And that's what, like I said, I couldn't be more happier with this win. I'm more surprised by it, but it's great to see. And listen, you couldn't be happier 6-3 going into the bye week, especially where you're standing right now.
Brayton, that's what's craziest about this win. Not just the win, but the entire Jets season so far. Because this defense, although it's playing elite, and I mean elite football, they're all very young. It's some veterans like C.J. Mosley on this team, and Quentin Williams has been in the league a while, but he's still a young guy.
Yeah.
This entire defense is young, and I think back to the start of the season where Robert Saleh was basically like, after a tough loss to open the year, he's like, all right, I'm going to keep receipts. The keeping receipts, everybody ripped him for it. Like, oh, you're all tall.
I ripped him for it.
Yeah, everybody did.
I called him a fool. I came on here after the Week 1 loss, and to be fair, the Jets have played good football. See, the only game they really let me down was New England. The only reason I say that is because Joe Flacco started the first 3 weeks when you lost to Baltimore and Cincy.
Right.
So, that being said, like I said, I called him a fool, but you know what? We're going into the bye week, and the Jets are 6-3, and Robert Saleh has proved a lot of people wrong. Now, can he do it for the second half of the season? I don't know. Do I hope they do? I sure as hell do, because I want to see this team in the playoffs.
And that's the question I'm going to bring everybody in. And Nico, you asked the question yesterday. Will the Jets make the playoffs? They're in pretty damn good position right now. I know every team in their division has a winning record. Not just that, you have the teams like the Bills, Chiefs. Even though you beat the Bills, you still have to worry about them. Bills, Chiefs, Titans, tough loss, but they really showed out in Kansas City to show that they can compete with the upper echelon teams.
Yeah, that was another team a lot of people were writing off. They were 0-2. They had just gotten demolished by the Bills week 2. Everyone thought they were done, but they've looked good since, and they hung with Kansas City like you mentioned. So that's another team to watch, definitely. 5
straight wins before that loss in Arrowhead. You also have teams like the Bengals and the Ravens. And real quick on the Ravens, they did beat the lifeless Saints on Monday Night Football 27-13. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I know I got up on here yesterday and I was like, I expect a win yesterday. I expect a win on Monday Night Football. All he had to do was stop Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. I didn't watch a minute of this game. I got home, knocked the hell out. I woke up 1 a.m. I saw the score. I saw some of the highlights. I saw how it went down. I saw everyone in the group chat like, oh, Josh, your team's ass. Like, yeah, they're ass. I know. I don't need to be told that. I watched some highlights today. Man, listen, because my mental health hasn't been the greatest lately.
Oh, Jesus.
If I would have watched that game yesterday, all I'm going to say is everybody that has some love for me should be very happy I didn't watch that game. Last night, it was terrible. Then the Saints have, I can't even say the worst coach in the league because Josh McDaniels is employed by Las Vegas.
And Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur, too. But the Saints haven't won back-to-back games all year long. They've had 2 separate losing streaks. They're probably going to go on another one. It's over. It's over. Yeah, and what sickens me the most is that I called the Bucs being mid. I did.
And they are.
And they are mid, but they're still going to win the division because they have Tom Brady, and every other team in that division is dog water, including my Saints. So there you go. But back to the New York Jets. Some good vibes in New York football. Let's ask the question. Jets making the playoffs? Do we believe enough in... Because we know what this defense is. Do we believe enough in Zach Wilson to say that even with... I think they're the third best team in the division. But do they still make the playoffs with this quarterback who is 4-1 at the start of this year? He hasn't played great, but he's 4-1. Shout out the QB wins crowd. But
Poor David. Shout out.
shout out. But what do we think? We're making it?
Considering their schedule, I think I'd be shocked if they don't get 10 wins on the year at this point.
Well, they definitely have the talent. Definitely. Well, like you said, it'll come down to the offense and what we aren't expecting a lot from Zach Wilson. I think at this point because we know. Well, I don't want to say we know what he's capable of. It's mostly what he's not capable of because he was riding. I'd say he's riding the coattails of Breece Hall, but he kind of wasn't. The whole Jets offense was, but he just has to do enough. And like we saw Sunday, that was enough against the Bills. When you have a defense that's as good as this, and I can't stress that enough, you don't need to do much. And the thing about it is, if you limit, and you're only going to limit, you're not going to stop the Bills' offense because the 2 games they lost here, they haven't even put up 20 points. They lost 21-19, I think, week 3 to Miami, and then obviously we lost this previous week, 2017, to the Jets. You're only going to limit them, but if you have a lockdown defense, it's obviously going to be the game changer. It really comes down to what Wilson does. He has some targets though too. Screw Elijah Moore. He doesn't exist anymore. But obviously Garrett Wilson, you see that. Denzel Mims had one big catch yesterday, Sunday, which kept the drive alive on that 4th down when they were in the red zone. Listen, it'll come down to Wilson, but this effing defense, and I cannot stress that enough. And as I say that to every Jets fan listening, Josh, Nico, then Eric, obviously all the football fans in the room, think about how many times Jets fans have said that over the past, and it was because of the exact opposite reason, that they were getting blown out by 50 points to New England. They're giving up 30-plus points every game. Think about that. This defense is otherworldly. And like you mentioned, Josh, they're all young.
It's crazy, and you brought up 2009, 2010. That Jets defense, all veterans. You got guys like Bart Scott, Darrelle Revis, their middle linebacker. Who was the other guy in the middle with Bart Scott? David Harris. You had Antonio Cromartie. All those guys, they're all veterans, and they were led by a really long-tenured coach in Rex Ryan. Now you have Robert Saleh. He's coaching a bunch of pups, and he said, week 1 again, I'm keeping receipts. And they win that big game in Cleveland. Joe Flacco leads them back. They recover the onside kick. And ever since then, it's been largely all great vibes. So I'm happy for Jets fans. Giants fans, too. I know they're on a bye. The Jets have a bye coming up. But it's all great vibes. It was looking shaky last week. I can't lie. Giants lose to the Seahawks. Jets lose. They get embarrassed by the Patriots. And you're just like...
Yeah. Well, that was, again, the offense not performing. That's what happens when you don't get enough... And here's the thing: the defense is given, aside from maybe Cleveland where they allowed 30, this defense is giving the Jets a chance to win week in and week out.
Yeah,
it really does. It really, like you say, it comes down to what Zach Wilson could do. Now, is he performing like a number 2 overall pick? No, and you don't need to look at his stats to know that. You just have to watch. But if he just does enough, this defense will give him every opportunity to win football games.
Absolutely. And Brayton, I think before we close on this Jets topic, he's going to have some big games down the stretch. If the Jets want to make it into playoffs, I need a 300-yard, 1 touchdown, 250-yard, 2 touchdown, something like that. You can't, because, again, I was a big fan of the Jets when they made back-to-back AFC title games, but Mark Sanchez held them back. The defense was nice, but eventually he held them back. I don't want to see the same thing with Zach Wilson, especially when that guy was picked number 2 overall.
Yeah.
You weren't picking him to be Alex Smith.
No,
you weren't picking him to be a game manager. You were picking him to be a Patrick Mahomes type.
And that's what a lot of people are treating him like. And I talked about it on one of the halftime shows that we did with me and Eric did over the weekend. It annoys. The one thing that I will say, all the good vibes that the Jets give off, what really annoys me as a Jets fan is that we sit here at the end of, not every week, but we sit here at the end of almost every season, and rightfully, for the last 9 years, and rightfully we've been terrible. And we've sat here and we've kept questioning one thing: who's our quarterback? Sam Darnold wasn't it. I'm not even going to get into Hackenberg and all that garbage, Bryce Petty and all the freaking QB carousel that the Jets have been through. But it really is, if you think about it, if you give this team an elite quarterback, what's stopping them?
Absolutely.
Really, what's stopping them? Maybe an extra skill wide receiver or 2, upgrade for Elijah Bum Moore. But that's about it. There's the big question about this team is, and everyone still does it regardless of what, and rightfully they should, because he hasn't been performing to his potential. I don't think it's Zach Wilson, so it will come down to him. Now, Can he perform? I hope he can. Do I think he has it in him? He might. It really depends on his opponent. Like I said, he needs to find it, and it's going to be tough to stop this team.
Absolutely, and you said it, Brayton. No one has more pressure in New York football, I think, than Zach Wilson. Because this team, now the world knows. You beat the Buffalo Bills. The world knows that the Jets are damn good. They're a damn good football team, and you don't want to be the one guy that holds them back from reaching their true potential. So the Jets are on a bye week. He'll have another crack at Bill Belichick and the Patriots after that in New England. We'll see what happens. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It's Joshua Yamahi, joined by Nico Each, Eric Williams, and Brayton Daniello. So, guys, it's midterm election day.
Did you vote, Josh?
I don't want to disappoint the people I know I listen.
Shame on you. Shame on you.
I didn't say anything.
We know the answer.
Whatever. Midterm election day is today. I hope, unlike me, y'all got out there to the ballots and voted. It's always important on election day. Hope you casted your ballots. But we got some midterm decisions to make here too, because we're at the midway point now of the NFL season. It's week 9, 10. It's time to give out some mid-season predictions on some NFL individual awards and team awards. So let's start with the obvious. MVP. Who we taking?
I have a crazy one.
Oh,
I already know what he's about to say, and I thought about it as soon as I seen his topic sheet.
I don't think you do.
I do.
Sauce Gardner.
I thought you was gonna say.
So you're gonna follow what we heard yesterday, and you're just gonna Sauce Gardner for MVP.
Nico, answer me a question. Is Sauce Gardner better than Deion Sanders?
Well, Braden. I would say he has the potential to, but that's about it. No, MVP. Who plays in that? No, Josh Allen, I think.
Josh Allen?
Yeah.
He might.
I still think, yeah.
Interesting.
Had a few rough weeks with passing, but yeah, I could still see that.
Either him or Patrick Mahomes, I feel like. Or Saquon. Tua. We'll see how the Giants come back. Tua's a good pick.
Tua's an underrated pick, yeah.
It might be Tua, actually.
15-3. Clean numbers.
Eric,
he missed 2 games too, right?
Yeah.
Eric, you got any thoughts on who wins MVP this year?
Clear answer is probably Mahomes, but I want to go with Tua.
Why you sound so sad?
I just hope he wins.
I want to go with Tua.
I just hope he wins.
It was my Deion comment.
I'm going to go with the obvious pick. I'm going to go Pat Mahomes. Listen, every time in the sports world, we tend to really build players up to break them down. We've seen it with LeBron in the NBA. We've seen it with other players. Pat Mahomes, his first year as a starter, he gets all the way to the AFC title game, loses in heartbreaking fashion to Tom Brady, and everyone's like, oh, this is the next great NFL quarterback. He might be the next GOAT. Then he struggles a little bit last year, just a little bit. Has some more interceptions than usual, and people are like, oh, that guy, Josh Allen, he's next up. Forget this Mahomes guy. No, it's still this Mahomes guy.
Yeah.
He's still him. 68 passing attempts on Sunday night. No run game. It's all on you to win against a tough Tennessee Titans team. Shout out Mike Vrabel, and he did it. He does everything he's asked to do, and he does it in spectacular fashion. So that's my pick for MVP. Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill. I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on that. He's on pace for 2,000 receiving yards.
If Breece Hall didn't get injured, he probably
maybe offensive. You have offensive player and not offensive rookie of the year?
Offensive player.
Ooh.
He was having that.
He was. That's true. I speak all the time about.
He was that Jets offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Eric, you have
now
any
I'm
thoughts?
sad.
Offensive player of the year, probably go Tyreek Hill. Through 9 weeks, he's broken the record through 9 weeks of how many yards he has. Over 1,200.
Speaking of keeping receipts, we mentioned that with Robert Saleh. So Tyreek Hill, I don't agree with him, but he said Tua was more accurate than Mahomes. And I got to say, I don't believe that to be the case, but Tua Tagovailoa, everyone said he doesn't have he doesn't have a deep ball. He doesn't have the ability to get it to Tyreek Hill down the field. I've seen plenty of 50, 60-yard catches by Tyreek Hill this year, so I'm going to go ahead and rule that one out. Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts first. I might have a surprise on this one.
I'll pass that one to Braden.
He is him, Josh. It's
Sauce Gardner, all right.
You know what? Yeah, I'll go with that too, actually.
Keep an eye.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Eric. He's just better right now.
I can't see Eric's face
just
over
lost
there.
respect.
Let him speak.
I can't see Eric's face over there, so I'm wondering what he's thinking.
Let Josh go.
I will say,
Boy.
keep an eye on the New England Patriots red sleeves. Have you looked at Matt Judon's stats?
I haven't actually.
He is, for anybody that hasn't, go look. I know it's not the sexy pick, but he's having a great start to his season. I don't know. It's trending that way. I don't know if he'll finish up that way. He's not a superstar like Michael Parsons or anybody like that, but he's having a great start to the year. So, got any final thoughts?
Eric.
Michael Parsons.
Not
Okay.
No one's gonna argue with that. He is. You know, last year when people said he's the next Lawrence Taylor, I was like, really? But then
Now, yeah.
you clearly see it. You clearly
He
see
lives
it.
up to the hype.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, this is going to be us talking about Sauce Gardner next year compared to Dion. It's going to be the same conversation.
Next year, we're not saying that 9 games in. If he does this again next year, we could have that conversation. Not 9 games in. I'm sorry. Sorry, Sauce. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Damian Pierce.
Not a bad pick.
It's a solid pick. Damian Pierce.
Kenneth Walker for me.
Okay.
The main difference being he's in a winning situation. That team, and I know the Seahawks, Geno Smith still not riding back. They would not be 6-3 if they didn't make the decision when they had a chance at Malik Willis, remember? And everyone was like, you're taking a running back? Why Kenneth Walker? I've learned to never doubt certain things. I don't doubt Pete Carroll no more. He's clearly a great decision maker. He took a chance on Kenneth Walker. He's definitely delivered. Chris Olave had a chance, but between the Saints' quarterback problems and their just terrible coaching and not getting him the ball as much as he should have the ball, it's Kenneth Walker's award to lose. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Rollins Sauce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get saucy.
Yeah, you didn't even have to ask that one.
I will say, though, keep an eye on, we were talking about the Seahawks, Tariq Woolen. He's kind of that Richard Sherman type, bigger cornerback.
Yeah.
Runs like a 4.3 40. Like he is, him and Sauce are like, obviously Sauce has the height, but keep an eye on that kid. And then comeback player of the year.
I'm going to go Geno.
You're going to go Geno.
I'm going to go Geno.
That's a great pick.
How can you not go Geno at this
Comeback
point?
player.
Look
I
at
mean,
what
there's
he's
like 2 other
done.
guys on my mind.
Yeah, but
I would say
but I feel
either
like
Saquon or Zadarius Smith.
No.
But I feel like those
no.
guys are expected. I feel like no one expected this out of Geno, and that's why it makes it so
Yeah,
such a
that's why I'm
special
going with
story.
You know, some Giants fans, I hope, are going to call up and say, oh, what about Saquon Barkley? Well,
I was actually going to say that.
but I don't know. What exactly is he coming back from?
I feel like he's finally living up to his potential.
It's just people wrote him off because he got injured.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the talent was always there. It's
Yeah.
not like it faded
All
away.
right.
Exactly.
I also had Derrick Henry.
Okay.
It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. Obviously, Derrick Henry, that guy, the Titans give him like 400 touches a year. He's still like producing at an MVP level. It's crazy. I don't know how he does it, especially at that size. I remember when he was drafted, people thought he was going to be the next Trent Richardson, like a bigger running back that didn't pan out, but he's him. He's still him. We saw it on Sunday night, and I'm sure it'll continue. How about the AFC and NFC conference championship participants? I'll come to Brayton first. Who are we thinking?
I'm going to be bold. If the seeding goes out like I think it will, Chiefs and Bills. I feel like everyone wants to see that again. Well, with the stakes bigger this time. That's just my opinion, though.
I'm going to agree with you. My only question would be, where's the game going to be played? Because the Bills had a big win in Arrowhead.
It's going to be in Buffalo, and the Bills are going to win with 13 seconds to spare, just to make it poetic
to
justice.
flip the script.
Yes.
I don't know. They've been stuck at Arrowhead the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there in January when it's Patrick
No.
Mahomes on the other side. And they had a chance to really separate themselves, but they lose to the Jets.
Well, to be fair, they also beat the Chiefs at Arrowhead this
They did.
season.
They did.
That
And
is true.
that's going to be a big tie-breaking win, maybe, if they finish with the same record. But
Maybe.
I don't know. I think it might be at Arrowhead again. But I want to know what Nico and Eric think.
Give me Tua Man versus Patty Mahomes.
Ooh.
I love that.
Yeah, that would be a good matchup.
People are, listen, if you want to still sleep on Tua Tagovailoa in this Dolphins offense, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
The doctor was also apparently sleeping in the process. Oh. Had to go there, sorry.
He did. At least Tua's not going head first in the tackles now. He's actually,
thank God for that.
Well, yeah, no, you know what? That's my prediction. If Tua stays alive,
if he continues to be smart with himself on the football field. But Eric,
So I'm gonna go with the rematch, Chiefs and Bengals.
Chiefs and Bengals. Wow.
I think the Bengals they can finally get back to where they were offensively last season, especially at the end of last season, and they can roll through the playoffs. It's not gonna be easy, but I see them doing it, and obviously the Chiefs being there, but it'll be a highly anticipated matchup.
That is the matchup everyone remembers from last year. The Bengals coming back from 18 down. Somehow, with Eli Apple on their roster, they won in Arrowhead and had to get the little shot at Eli there. Super Bowl matchup. What are we thinking?
Wait.
No, NFC.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, I skipped NFC. My bad. Let's take it back.
Josh.
Oh, thank you.
It's okay, Josh.
I'm going to go Eagles, Cowboys.
Ooh. Very possible matchup.
Okay.
I feel like that's a matchup a lot of people want to see.
Jerry Jones, I think we can talk about whether he's going to bring Odell Beckham in. I saw you guys talking about that earlier.
Can we actually talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
So I just think we're getting closer and closer to seeing, like, every time I check my phone, I hope it's the ESPN alert that OBJ has signed with the Cowboys. I think we're getting closer and closer to him signing with the Cowboys.
That would be... What a way to piss every single Giants fan off if that happened.
I would love it. I would love it.
They already hated enough that he won a ring in LA. Imagine he goes to Dallas in the process.
Could you imagine Corey David walking in here after the Cowboys signed Odell Beckham?
Start killing Nico for no reason, probably. Well, maybe not no reason. Maybe not no reason. We know Nico has a tendency to spice.
I get the people going.
Yeah, a little bit too much, but yes. An NFC Championship game for me. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to go with a 2018, I believe it is, rematch of Eagles-Cowboys. Or not Eagles-Cowboys, Eagles-Vikings. A lot of people... Listen, I know you hate the Vikings.
Wow.
I'm being bold. And you want to know what the reality is? It'll probably be Eagles versus Bucks because Tom Brady's immortal. He'll win his 8th Super Bowl this season and we'll think the NFL is rigged. And then he'll get pissed again and he'll come back to win again at 46. Probably.
I wonder what Giselle's doing right
Bro, go be a family man. I hate hearing about this Tom Brady stuff still in 2022. You have kids and you had a wife.
It's not football anymore. It's just his wife divorced him.
Smoking wife.
That's not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, he chose to look at Leonard Fournette every day instead of Giselle Bundchen. What's a psychopath right there?
That's a clown move.
Go be a family man. I don't want to hear about this Tom Brady stuff.
That's that Antonio Brown mentality, Josh.
Giselle.
Complete crazy.
Giselle, hold my line. It's open.
Who are you taking, Eric?
Zach Wilson already.
Who you taking?
NFC Championship.
Cowboys, Eagles. Listen, but if the seeding goes a different way and the Eagles end up running into the 49ers, I don't think they're beating the 49ers.
Wow. You that high on the 49ers?
I think they can beat the Eagles. I think they're one of the teams in the NFL, in the NFC at least, that can beat the Eagles.
I think this is the one year Jimmy Garoppolo isn't inevitable.
Nah, porn star Jimmy is inevitable. He is. Clearly. Every year, he just finds a way.
I'll take the Seahawks versus the Cowboys.
Seahawks.
That would secure Geno Smith as comeback player of the year, in my opinion. Everybody have to.
Everybody that isn't on the Geno is an elite quarterback train. You better get on it because every week it's like, when is this guy going to crash back down to earth? And he throws a pick six last week, and you're like, oh, is this the moment?
Nope.
And I'm telling people,
only angered him more.
Yeah, it's going to continue. It's going to continue.
Top 10 quarterback. Top 10 quarterback.
Absolutely.
Top 10 quarterback. Top 10 quarterback.
Without question.
Maybe.
Okay.
Can we say that he's better than Tom Brady, Nico?
Right now, yes.
Oh, definitely.
Right
I mean, overall.
Yes.
Oh.
Tom Brady ain't never have a season like this.
Imagine Geno Smith gets with Giselle. What a plot twist that would be. Imagine.
Oh, I hope so now.
Oh, my God. Nah, Zach Wilson's first in line. We know that.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Is he?
AB.
Oh God.
Oh, AB is definitely first time. She was in the pool.
Just and that was just about
She was in the pool. I can neither
She texted me.
confirm.
She sent me a snap. She was like, I'm in the pool.
I don't know if I
Giselle has Snap.
I don't
She
know
was
if
in
I
the room
can-
with DeAndre Hopkins, actually.
Oh no, she definitely wasn't. She definitely wasn't.
What do you mean?
No.
John Gruden.
No, stop. Cut him
No,
short. Cut him short.
I
This
think-
is a wild room.
I think
cut the line.
I think Giselle's a little more classy than that, Nico. But John Gruden definitely.
Is she?
Wow, that's crazy. You don't think so?
Damn.
Her name's Giselle. That's like girl's name Mercedes.
Why you gotta go there? That's hard, man. That's really harsh.
If we have any
First Aaron, now
Shout out.
Mercedes.
If your
What's
name's
next?
Mercedes and you're listening, you can call.
yeah,
Yo,
I'll give you
please.
my Instagram.
No, call. Yeah,
No, you won't.
I
No,
know what
you
you're
won't.
about.
yeah. What he said. I know what you're about.
I love this show
I
sometimes.
love my Mercedes.
That's great.
516-572-7440. If you're a beautiful woman with an exotic name, if we've called you out on today's show, please call us up.
Well, no, if Nico called you out.
If Nico called
Yeah,
you
my
out,
Instagram is NEAXH. Thank you.
go follow that man. Go
God.
follow that man.
Gonna get a bunch of death threats. Wouldn't be the first time in WHPC studio history.
Hopefully, I'm
not
not.
go there.
Hopefully, I'm not on someone's kill list.
Yeah,
You know,
unfortunately, I am.
Well, me too. I think I should be higher, to be quite honest.
Killer hate. I don't know how I made the list. I don't know how you made it, Eric. I mean, we did nothing, but we're not even gonna get into that. Josh, what's next?
Well, I think I know
we're
why
talking
Eric's on
Mets.
Why you say screw me for? He's got a list and he's checking it twice.
I'm number 10.
Jesus.
That doesn't make sense.
You're number 10,
I
man.
did things in his car.
Hey, I'm 11.
Moving on. Moving on.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl champion.
That was my Super Bowl, Josh, to be quite honest.
I believe it. I believe it. I saw the look on your face. Yup.
Nico each. Let's ride.
Let's ride, baby.
Chiefs Super Bowl champions.
Chiefs.
I guess who?
The Eagles.
Okay. I'm gonna go Tua Man versus Geno Smith.
Oh, the ultimate.
I'm gonna go Tua Man.
This
and
man
Geno wins.
This man committed to the hot take. You are. I respect it.
Yeah.
Geno throws
Tua
a
Man,
game-winning Hail Mary on the final play.
Oh man.
I'd cry.
I would too.
I'm gonna have to go Cowboys and Bengals. Think the Bengals running back. Get back to the Super Bowl.
Let me guess who you have winning.
I'm not. This is the thing I wanted to get to. I'm not saying anything. I've told myself I'm not going to say anything about the Cowboys winning anything this season because every time that I do, they don't win anything.
It's our year, baby. It's not your year. It's never your year.
I stopped doing that in like 2016.
How about them Cowboys? Glory hole.
See, I could have loaded the glory hole because I knew he was going to go Cowboys.
Shout out my glory holes.
There you have it.
I had to plug it.
I will go with the Chiefs as champion, and that'll do it. Our midterm elections for the midway point of the NFL season. I hope you guys, everyone out there, enjoyed that. Let's talk some baseball.
Yes.
Oh, yay.
So we haven't mentioned, I don't think, the Astros did beat the Phillies in the World Series.
Thank God they didn't lose to an NL East team.
Oh, yeah.
Finally. And then they'll lose to Miami next year still.
I think it'll still
Even
be the
though they're
Marlins.
shopping Pablo Lopez,
I
apparently.
cannot wait for the Marlins to win next year. Jorge Soler, baby. Running back.
Let's go to Miami.
Let's go.
Let's go.
WHPC takes over Miami.
Oh, they wouldn't want that.
They would not.
They wouldn't want that.
I can tell you there's a lot of Mercedes in Miami.
Oh yeah.
Oh, without
In
doubt.
fact, yes, Alexis too.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm just saying. You know what they about?
A lot of destinies I can see.
Destiny, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Not sure I understand this segment, but I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah. Sure.
Brayden's like,
Brandon's never been to Miami.
we got to get you to Miami.
We gotta
bro.
get you to Miami.
Miami Marlins, let's ride.
But yes, the Astros did beat the Phillies in the World Series, and like seconds after that finish, the Mets were like, "Hey, Edwin Diaz, do you want to come back as a New York Met?
Wait, say Josh.
Do you want to come back and sign a 5-year, $102 million extension
It's record for a relief pitcher, right?
Is that not a lot for relief?
It's a lot.
When you have a season like he had, and here's the thing, we have a question on here: is this bad, good, or great for the Mets? And you have to pick great because other than Adam Ottavino, who's probably gone, unfortunately, I can't believe I'm saying that.
Right.
Who else was the most consistently good this year for the Mets in the bullpen? And not even consistently good, consistently amazing, like almost record-shattering amazing. So that's why this is so great. Now, the contract it's big, but if he keeps performing like this, I'll pay every cent. I don't care. That's worth it, in my opinion.
It's huge.
It is huge.
It's huge.
Sorry to cut you off, Braden.
I mean, and also on top of the fact that we have some of the other free agents, it was key that they lock Diaz in right away. Because you talk about DeGrom, it's like, okay, you have other starters in the rotation. Granted, you'll need to sign someone. I know Bassett's among one of the free agents. Outfield, I like Nimmo back, but he's replaceable. Who are you going to get to replace Edwin Diaz? No one. Because that's just not possible after what we just saw this season.
I put bad, good, or great move because I think most sane human beings, people that's felt the warm touch of a woman, they would say that it's a good move. But you have guys like Keith Law.
What did he say?
On The Athletic, he wrote, Edwin Diaz is great. The Mets' decision to give him 5 years and $100 million is anything but. I just don't understand how you knock a move like this for what reason? Because
it's Mercedes.
Oh, you paid. The caller might be Mercedes. Let's see.
Mercedes, what's good, baby?
Mercedes.
Caller, you're on WHPC Sports Talk. What's going on?
Yeah, no, this is Charlie from Flow Park, not Mercedes.
Damn.
I've never been so disappointed to hear you call, Charlie. What's going on?
I had to do it. Yeah, quickly, I've been listening to you guys for a while. I'm a huge baseball fan, but I can tell that you guys really, really love football. And it seems to be just your knowledge is so insightful and you're so passionate about it. I'm just wondering, is it because of the fantasy football? Is it the gambling? What is it that makes football king in this country?
It might be the gambling, to be quite honest.
My delinquents out there.
If it's Sean, it might be the gambling.
I mean, you're it's just amazing how detailed you guys and most football fans, your knowledge is. So the question I wanted to ask is, 0 to 10, if 10 is football, where are the other three sports?
That's a great question.
Unfortunately, hockey is probably at the bottom of that tier, though, my opinion. If we're talking like popularity in New York, hockey's at the bottom. Then I would probably go, basketball?
Well, give me a number.
So if we're going core four, football's probably at the top. Then I would go probably basketball, I would think.
In New York?
I feel like in New York, yeah. Basketball, I feel like the Knicks and the Nets, unfortunately, are really popular. Then you would go, obviously, yeah. Then you would go baseball and then hockey at the bottom.
Well, I need numbers. I'm a numbers guy.
So first in popularity.
Football's 10. Where's basketball?
Oh, in terms of like interest level.
Okay. I feel like a lot of the sports would be like 9 or 10, except hockey. Hockey is like kind of like less, unfortunately.
Okay, so it's all 9 and 10, and hockey 0.
Not 0, maybe like 7 or 8, maybe around there. But everything else is like a lot, not a lot, but levels above it.
And yet, just from listening, and I'd much rather listen to you guys than FAN. It seems to me football is like 10, and everything else is 5 or 6. But that's just me listening.
You know what? I've had this conversation, Charlie, a lot of times, and in hosting, you always go through like what moves the needle for most people.
Exactly.
And at the NFL, people, it's like a sick addiction to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's like people just can't get enough, no matter what goes on in the news cycle or whatever.
Yeah.
NFL's king.
Also,
I think the closest we have to a national religion in this country is football.
Yeah, people don't go to church or whatever on Sunday.
It's football.
It's NFL Red Zone.
Football. Yeah. I mean, it's the only thing that brings us together. Otherwise, today's election day. Yikes. And it's just amazing. Anyway, look, keep up the good work, and I just wanted to have that clarified.
Absolutely, Charlie. Thank you.
Take it easy.
For the call.
And I'm sorry I'm not Mercedes.
Well, can you tell her to call? Thank you.
Actually, she's sitting next to me.
Oh, you have fun with her. You have fun.
You guys can die of jealousy. Be good.
All right. Charlie. I love Charlie.
Yeah,
Love
I
that
really
man.
want to say something like the fact he really said. And thank you for the call, Charlie. I really appreciate that. But the fact he really said he would rather listen to us than the fan, doesn't that tell you something?
That says a lot.
Listen,
We're just funny people, man.
we
WFAN on that Russell Wilson energy this season.
they fallen off. Listen, we got a good crew. We got good chemistry. You know.
No quitters.
Yeah, we got
No
good chemistry,
quitters.
Josh.
Yeah, we do.
That face. I can't do the face that he makes as he says that.
Nico is one of a kind. Everybody, he is.
Only yours.
The original. Oh God.
That's crazy. Thank you for calling me beautiful before yesterday's show. I really appreciate
Always.
it. Yeah,
The beautiful, the famous, the sexy,
Yes,
the
yes.
gorgeous.
My ego doesn't need any more.
You know,
of
guys,
that.
you guys didn't
Yeah.
know this. Josh's middle name is actually Mercedes. Fun fact.
How did you find that?
I didn't know that. Wow.
I saw it on your dresser. On your
Josh
license.
Mercedes.
Mercedes. We had another caller call up. If that was you, Mercedes, with the 631 area code, please call back. 516-572. Oh, there you
Ask
are.
when Nico's address.
Mercedes is calling back. Hold on. There she is.
Caller,
Cross your fingers.
you're on WHPC Sports Talk. What's going on?
Hey guys, it's Frankie from Flushing. How you doing today?
Oh, Frank, you should have done what you did last time when you said you were Aaron. You should have said you were Mercedes.
Not Mercedes.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about it, but I was like, it's played out already.
Oh, what's going on,
I was
man?
really, really thinking about it though. Just a quick one. We're talking about Diaz. You know, I think it's a great, obviously a great pickup. Not pickup, re-signing. But you know, if I was the Mets, I would have done things a little differently. That's a lot of money to give a reliever. Doesn't that kind of up the ante for guys like DeGrom? Wouldn't you have signed DeGrom first?
Frankie,
You know?
I got to be real with you, Frankie. I hate to say this as a Mets fan, but I think DeGrom's gone. I really and this is the thing about it. It's Steve Cohen said within reason, but we talked about it. We talked about it last time he called. Actually, I think for a brief second, with the way not even just him, but this whole Mets pitching. You know, the way starting rotation, the way they pitched down the stretch, it was disappointing. And for him to come out and probably what I assume he's asking for is more than what Max Scherzer is, I feel like, I'll be honest, Frankie, if you were to tell me, you could have DeGrom for $50 million or Nimmo for maybe 20, I mean, Josh, give me your pay. DeGrom or Nimmo right now, because you have other starters. You have obviously you have to prioritize Bassett also in that. Do you keep Nimmo in center field? Do you have DeGrom start more games? You have to keep in mind also, you give DeGrom $50 million knowing he's coming off injuries, and a lot of them, and injuries, not minor injuries that have knocked him out a year's time. Do you give that much money to a guy that's 34, that's coming off all these injuries? It's risky. So I get what you're saying, Frankie, but also at the same time, the way that I look at it, I just don't think, it's not that maybe he doesn't want to be here, I just think maybe the Mets don't want him back for the price he's asking. I think that's the problem with this.
That's very true, but take DeGrom out of it, they're gonna another frontline starter. They have kind of that leverage. Well, you gave your one inning guy $20 million a year. Yes, I was saying DeGrom, but it could be really any frontline starter now has that as leverage. I'm pitching 7-8 innings a game. This guy's pitching 1 inning a game. That's a lot of money for a closer. Like you said earlier, there really isn't anybody better. They're not going to get anybody better. I think it's a lot of money, though. I think it's a lot of money.
It is, but I think clearly Steve Cohen hasn't shown that he cares about total value on contracts. He's going to give whoever at this point. And Edwin Diaz, within reason, yeah. And Edwin Diaz, you said it, Brayden. He was the most irreplaceable guy out of all their 12, now 11 free agents that there were.
Yeah, well, a lot of these guys also, if you're looking at this list, if you were to give me guys that I would want the Mets to bring back, DeGrom within reason, which it's not going to be within reason, so he's probably out. But I would definitely go with Bassett, Nimmo, Ottavino. I'd love to have him back in the bullpen. Trevor Williams, who's extremely underrated, I'd like him back. And probably Seth Lugo, just because he showed me some flashes in that late. He's inconsistent as anything, but other than that, you probably lose Walker. You definitely let go of Joely Rodriguez. Naquin, I don't see him fitting in, really. Trevor May, meh. And Tommy Hunter, really, I don't think he's going to make the cut back. But that's just my opinion on it. it really comes down to listen, Frankie, I've been an admirer of it. I don't know if you listened beforehand, like months ago. I love Brandon Nimmo in center field. Like, you have no idea how much I love this guy being in center field. So if it came down to it, because they're not going to sign Judge. Let's just be real. And I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know if he's going to stay with the Yanks. If he leaves the Yanks, I doubt it's going to be to the Mets. At this point, it's probably going to be San Francisco. But if you were to ask me, I'd take probably Bassett and Nimmo right now. I'd bring them back and probably let DeGrom walk because he's just going to ask for too damn much money.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's, especially if he was 7 years younger, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
He's 34 years old, and he's going to want probably like a 5-year deal, I would imagine. Or he's just not. You're right. At some point, he's not going to be worth it. Maybe even next year.
Maybe, but.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. We'll call you soon.
Thanks, Frankie.
Absolutely, Frankie.
Bye, Mercedes.
Have a good week. Bye.
Absolutely, Frankie. Thank you, as always. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting discussion. The Mets still have, like I said, 11 free agents remaining. That's the most in Major League Baseball. We talked about DeGrom and Nimmo. Those are the two headliners. And I don't know. I think Steve Cohen is showing you everything, and especially with the Trey Turner rumors, that he's serious about winning the World Series. If it doesn't happen in the next 1 to 2 years, like, again, we have this conversation about baseball contracts all the time. Like, you're not giving out 8-year contracts just because you expect the guy to be great for 8 years. No, it's a short-term deal, and you deal with the long-term liability. So I think that's going to be their strategy. Obviously, you win 101 games, you lose in the wild card round. You don't want that. You definitely want to make a splash and show your fans that you're still not messing around. So that's what I'd call Steve Cohen and Billy Epler doing on that Edwin Diaz deal. And we'll see if Trey Turner comes to the Mets. We'll see if DeGrom returns. A lot more to come over the winter with the baseball offseason. Before we move on to hockey, though, I want to get some basketball updates in. So, the New York Knicks. The mid-New York Knicks. I saw a tweet earlier today that just backed up everything I've been saying about this team.
I got to see your face when you talk about the Knicks.
So, through 10 games, and yes, they beat the Timberwolves, and talk about a disappointing team. They traded all their picks for Rudy Gobert. That's something I like to call him.
Gobert.
Not great. Not great. So, the Knicks beat them. They go to 5-5. Through 10 games, the Knicks are 5-5, like I just said. They've scored 1,150 points. They've allowed 1,150 points. They have a plus-minus of 0.
Wow.
So I know during my little rant on Thursday, I called this team mid. Does it get more mid than that? Does it? Plus-minus of 0 through 10 games.
That's crazy.
They're not a real team. They're an experiment. They're a social experiment. How mid can a team be?
Hey, look. I mean, at least you don't have an old point guard that a sore heel. We're not even going to get into it, but he's got to go. But just be happy you don't have an old point guard right now.
He's dying inside as he's talking about
You have a young point guard. You got a young team, and Obi Toppin needs to start. All you have to do is just get rid of the coach and Julius Randle.
Why not just start Randle and Toppin? Why are we not doing that?
Nico,
you could do that as well.
What, Cam Reddish had 8 points last night?
I like
he
Cam
was starting.
Reddish too. Yeah. I would
start Obi Toppin over Cam Reddish, respectfully.
Start Cam, Obi, and Randall. That's what I would
just do that, yeah.
Yeah. So, also adding to that next stat, they're 5-0 against teams below 500, 0-5 against teams above 500. They're 15th middle of the pack in assists, 15th middle of the pack in blocks. They're as mid as mid can get.
That's wild.
But hey, Julius Randle hit 8 threes, tying the career high, and here's what R.J. Barrett, in a rare interview moment from R.J. Barrett, asked Julius Randle after the game.
Julius, Steph Curry, Randle. When you check back into the game and you did that snatch, step back 3, right off the bench. I mean, that's incredible. How you do that?
I mean, I just learned from the man himself.
Nah, I don't do that. Nah, that's all right. That's all right, Steph.
Let it go.
Aww.
At least they're having fun.
Yeah, they're very mid.
It's a bromance.
They're the most mid team I can find in sports right now, but it's all good vibes in the Knicks locker room.
I mean, aside from the Nets, I mean, they're very opposite from the Nets, where you got everything going on in Brooklyn, and then you have they have a culture in this locker room. That's one thing I can say about them. They're really gelled together, and I don't know, it's just not showing on the court, or they're just not meant to be playing with each other.
You brought up the Nets, Eric. They lost a late in game to the MVP frontrunner Luka Doncic. Yo, something funny about this?
I don't know why he's laughing.
Yeah, I don't know why either. Did you say something?
No one caught that. Okay.
Luka Doncic, 36, 6 and 6. Kevin Durant, 26 points. Was fouled on a three-pointer, down 3. Had a chance to tie the game with the free throw line, but he missed the second one. Here's what happened on the last one.
Down by 2. Durant missed it. Long rebound. O'Neal. He got smothered underneath, and the Mavericks will win it. Dallas holds on. 96-94 in a thriller.
Yep, the Nets dropped to, what's their record now? Not good. Not good. Ben Simmons off the bench. 2 points.
Wow.
Off the bench.
If I was a Nets fan, I would be at Barclays every night. I would just buy front row tickets every night on purpose just to scream at Ben Simmons and let him know how bad he is. You're getting paid all this money. All right, let's not even start about how much money he's getting paid. It's the fact that you're not even trying to get better at all. You're not in the gym, bro. You got no bag. You got no bag. He can't do nothing on the court against them NBA players.
That's crazy.
I could probably do something against him if we being honest here, but I'm not even going to get into that. He's not doing anything. He's out there running. Tony Snell type beat.
It's cardio.
It's cardio.
Workout time.
Ben Simmons is getting paid $177 million to do cardio.
He is the Kenny Galladay of the NBA.
Oh, truly, in every sense. Yeah. So the Nets, also to close out on basketball, we played the Woj audio. They were expected to hire horny man Ime Udoka.
But he did nothing wrong, Josh.
I agree with you. But quote-unquote strong voices, Adam Silver, they urged the Nets to reconsider with all the drama, Kyrie Irving. Then what's going on with the Nets? They're like, nah, we don't need another problem. So they're not going to complete the 7 deadly sins in Brooklyn.
They're slowly becoming the Cleveland Browns of the NBA.
Wait. Do you think, like, all right, when you say strong voices, do you think it's Adam Silver or do you think it's the Boston front office?
I think it's a mixture. I 1,000% think it's Adam Silver, but we know there's some petty people in Boston that need sanctions. They need sanctions. So I really think that. Will Ime Udoka get another job? Listen, yes. Guys like Chauncey Billups and Jason Kidd have gotten jobs. They've done a lot worse, in my opinion, in the past. So will he get one in way down the road? Yeah. Right now, I really think people in Boston are going to make it tough.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Boston's front office, I think they were definitely in contact with Brooklyn. It was just like, Josiah, you don't want to do this. You don't want to have to hide your wife. You don't want to have her not come to games only because Ime Udoka's in the same building. I think he's taking that into very, like...
So many beta people in Boston, bro.
You're not
You're not wrong. Of bitches just in that front office.
Listen, Nico, if somebody... like smashes your wife, right?
First off, I would never let that happen.
You would never let that happen?
I would
personally?
never let
I wouldn't let that happen.
I would satisfy my woman enough for that not to happen, okay?
Debatable.
That's just me,
right.
personally.
That's you personally?
Unless her name's
That's
Mercedes.
what a real man would do, Joshua, okay?
I can't agree with you. I can't disagree with you. I really can't. Knowing some people that we've come across.
You know, some people just like to... Never mind.
They don't got the dog in them.
They just like to watch.
Yeah. I didn't want him to go there. I really didn't want him to go there.
I had to.
Did it,
I was honestly, Eric, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Like Ben Simmons just on the bench, just watching the whole game.
Enjoying
Just wants to join in, but he knows he can't do anything.
Just running on the court, has the ball, passes the ball, just watching the offense flow. 4 on 5.
Sports Frizz.
Oh, man.
Sports team.
Insert joke.
Jeez.
Haha, funny.
Oh my god.
To close out today's show.
Let's do that hockey.
Do we have to?
Yes, we have to.
Do we have to?
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Speak for your Rangers.
What
do you got to say?
You know, they
Anger.
really choose to suck when Yaroslav Halak plays in net.
Well, no. Normally it's the opposite. Normally, Yaroslav Halak chooses to play sucky when the team plays good. But now all of a sudden, Sunday night comes, the Rangers look good for a period. Yaroslav Halak is actually making saves. I'm surprised, and then they just forgot how to play after the first 20 minutes. Gerard Gallant is shuffling the lines. He stuffs Kreider on the fourth, which you pointed out, Nico. I accepted the lines being switched up because they played like a peewee team in the second period. If you wanted to send a message, you should have honestly just reunited the kid line on the first line. You should have done that. You should have done that. But he chose not to. He scrambled the lines. Then a questionable penalty in overtime by Keandre Miller, and Dylan Larkin just standing in front of the net. Just standing in front of the net. I can feel your anger.
One of the worst calls I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. What was it, holding?
It was holding the stick.
Holding
the stick was just in between his arms. Yeah.
So I got pissed at that. But
racism, to be quite honest with you, Braden.
Jesus Christ. But you know what, to be fair, I'm fine with it. You know what, the Rangers didn't deserve to win that game. The way they played after one period, they didn't look good. They weren't the team from last season. They really haven't been that team from most of the 13 games so far this season. So
I think we'll be fine. Truly, I think they'll get it together.
I want to believe you,
really
but
early.
I know, and they're dealing with a lot of injuries.
A lot.
If Kravtsov gets hurt again, I want him traded.
I don't want him playing on this team anymore.
You might as well trade him.
Trade him. Get a third liner for him.
Talk about everyone talks about a move for Patrick Kane. Nico, it's like
no.
Well, hold on. Hear me out. Okay, a 50% retention, and everyone's like, "Oh, give up Kakko." Listen, Kakko might be their best 5-on-5 forward, and I talked about with Anthony, who I did the halftime show with, and I was telling him I'm tired of Kakko, taking his time to get off the ground. But you know what? He's been the strongest 5-on-5 skater.
Been, in my opinion, the best Ranger this
Why
season.
is Kravtsov not in this deal? Why is Matthew Robertson? Don't trade Brennan Othman, please, for the love of God.
This is my exact reason why Brennan Othman should have started the season with this team.
Why is he not?
That's what I'm saying. Give him the 9 games. The man is too old to be playing in the OHL. It's ridiculous. He should not be there.
Got Nico and Brayton. Rangers fans got some stuff off their chest just now. Islanders-Rangers round 2 at the Garden this time. Tonight, we'll see what happens. As for now, we'll call it a show on WHPC Sports Talk. Thank you once again for listening to the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. From Nico Each, Eric Williams, Brayton Daniello, I'm Joshua Imahi signing off. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Have a great rest of your evening.